Hello and welcome to This Is Us, a talk show where we have a conversation around various topics. My name is Dee and I'm your host tonight. Let me introduce you to our panelists. We have Jude.
Hi guys. Good evening.
And we also have two newbies on the panel today. We have Esther. Hello, Esther.
Hello, guys.
And we have Maxwell, or as it's put on his screen, we have Max. Hi, Max.
Hello. Hi. Dee.
If you've not subscribed to this channel, please do so and hit the notification button. But before we start, I'm sure you're wondering about our two newbies. So, Maxwell, tell us a little something about yourself.
Yeah, so thanks, Dee. I'm Max, and some people call me Maxwell as well. So I'm an official boy dad. So I call myself DOB as well. But I'm an IT professional, and I would have loved to say by night, but it would sound a bit dodgy. So I'll the cards. And I'm an Arsenal fan. And
yeah. No way. Boo.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that, Jude. Sorry about that, man. Sorry about that. But yeah, it has to be one. Yeah, that's about me. I'm just a fun, loving, normal person, really.
Brilliant, Maxwell. We're waiting to just see how your personality will just scatter the place.
Yeah.
We also have Esther. Esther, do you want to quickly give us a quick bio?
Right, I've just been told to join a few hours ago. I'm covering for the lovely G. So my name is Esther. I'm a mum of two. I'm a Man United fan, not Arsenal.
Yay!
Man U for life. Yay! I mean, I don't know. What else? What else do you want to know? I don't know. I'm just an ordinary girl. That's enough, isn't it? Yeah.
That's enough. Esther, mum of two, she's got two gorgeous boys. Okay, so we're good to go. Our title for today is Who Wears the Trousers in Your Relationship? With the generations before us, we noticed that the male tends to be more dominant, with the female taking more of a submissive role. Should a man be more dominant, or should a man be dominant, or is the woman supposed to be submissive? Jude, who do you think should be dominant in a relationship?
Very tricky question. That's not the title of the thing now. The title says who wears the trousers in your relationship. Yeah, now you've just flipped it. Boy, if you're saying about thought process, it's not something that I've ever thought about. Never ever, not even before or when I was planning to get married. Because I guess because in my life I had a lot of strong women. My mom, my cousins, all around women around me. So it's not a thought that really crossed my mind growing up in Nigeria. As people would like to say Nigeria is a patriarchal society, but still that never crossed my mind. But in this part of the world where we became very aware of all of these kind of talks or perspectives, if you ask me now, boy, I don't know. I really don't know. It's a difficult one.
Do you think sort of the man is made to look like he's dominant, and the woman plays a submissive role to make him look that way, make him look like the man is leading the household?
Yeah, it is society. When you ask that question, what the picture that came into my mind is, if we were, say me and my wife were going out to a party or anywhere we've been invited to, I would always stand in the front and hold her. So that's what I've seen. I've never seen a woman stand in the front and hold the husband. So this is what we have grown up seeing in relationships, and even on TV, when man and woman sits together, the man is always sitting up front and the woman takes a back row, so to speak, even when they both have their own views to give. So it tends to look as if the man is the dominant force at home, but it's not always the case. Like in our house, I don't think it really shows up like that. I can tell you categorically that almost all the decisions that are made, from whatever, the sofas, the kitchen utensils, everything is the choices are made by madame. So I only just carry the bag. So yeah, but society will make you see that in the public. But with indoors though, I've seen a few women who are more of take a dominating role.
Brilliant. Esther, so who do you think should wear the trousers in a relationship?
Does somebody have to? Can we just be a split? Do we have to have a dominant? Can you just have a work like a tag team? In my household, I'll say it depends on the situation. Like the domestic stuff, I don't feel my husband's interested. So maybe in that aspect, I'm probably wearing the trousers in that sense. But I still have to ask for not permission or anything, but I just have to ask for his opinion, I presume. Financial things or making big decisions, we do it together, you know, so it depends. I don't think you need to have a straight cut, you wear the trousers, you wear the trousers. It should be a partnership. I know it doesn't always work that way. And maybe religion, culture might make it different, I don't know. But I think personally it should be split in an ideal world, but I know it doesn't always work that way. So for my opinion, in my household, in my relationship, I think it's a partnership. It doesn't always go 50-50, it might be 50-50, might be, sometimes it might be 98 and 2%, depends on the situation and what we're deciding to do.
I completely agree. I agree with you, Esther, in regards to when it comes to a house, you sort of work to your strengths.
Yeah.
So if, for example, you're more the domestic and the husband's the financial, you do that, or vice versa. He might be the domestic, you're the financial, and then, but together you build the house. But Max, why are men expected to lead or be the head of the family? What's your views in regards to that? Men being expected to be the head of the family?
Yeah, I think obviously it's not just about the society or stuff. You know, traditionally it has been so. You know, and whilst I sort of agree with what my fellow panelists have said, I actually disagree at the same time. You know, so the reason being is the way a man is being built. We have been built to protect the woman, you know. So like, you know, I was at a wedding the other day and where they were talking about which hand to hold the woman and which hand to be free. The left hand holds the woman, the right hand to be free, because that's your stronger hand, you can defend her, you know. So from a sort of leadership point of view, and I'm not trying to make women feel like less important or anything, you know, my wife is as important in the house as myself, you know. So however, in terms of leadership is by example. You can never be a good leader if you're not a good follower. You know, you could actually be a follower of your wife. I don't see a problem with that, you know. However, from a leadership, if you had just one decision to make, the most important decision in that household, the man should take that lead, because again, he sees things. I'm not saying a woman don't see, but there's a way a man has been built and engineered. I get the fact some women are, you know, independent women, and yeah, that's fine, not a problem. But it's sort of the way men we have been engineered emotionally, and just there're just too many things, you know, that I believe that man taking the lead, that is what he's there for, to take the lead if he is there.
Okay, that brilliantly, I think that's nicely put in regards to a man being there to be sort of the backbone, the strength to protect. And the woman, she can be strong, but it's nice to have that strength, that support in front. But Jude, what would you say if the woman was against that? She felt that she needed to be dominant, she needed to be the protector, she needed to be the head? Because we know we have got some women that believe that it should be, well, not really that they should be the dominant one, but they come across as being the dominant one.
I think I have to go back to what Esther said earlier. It depends on the role they're taking upon themselves. I don't think a woman would just say, I want to be the dominant one in every aspect of their life. Like what Esther rightly pointed out, say I've seen a couple, both of them are millionaires, where the man, although he is a top banker, but it's the wife who does all the how do you call it, the figures. She's so good in it. So when it comes to that, although he carries the big bag, she's worthy as well, but she does all of that because he cannot do it. So in that aspect, he always deferred to her. She's the dominating force in that aspect. And she would always want to say, let me have it. I know you're going to, sorry for my language, screw this up. You're going to make us pay more taxes. So she would take charge of that. So if he was to call the mechanics for their cars and all of that, he was the one arranging that. When it came to arranging doing the insurance and buying the plane ticket, it was her side, was her strong suit. So for example, in my home, by default, I don't know how to operate the washing machine, which is something I really need to do. So my wife is the queen of that one. While me, when it comes to dishes, I do more of the dishes than her. When it comes to cooking, because I love cooking, I'm always there cooking. I come back and make my own food. So you see, it depends on the role that you take. But
Yeah.
if a woman said to me, if my wife said, okay, you know what, from now on, I want to be making all the decisions in this house. She's already making all the decisions by default anyway. But if she said that, definitely I would react as a human and say, for Christ's sake, man, what's changed to make you want to do that now? Okay, if that is the case, maybe you should be thinking of paying the bills as well. Let me relax at home and become the house husband. We're humans. We'll talk that talk. But I don't think there's any woman there who want to take it. But it depends again on the aspects. Whether if it's sexual, say in the bedroom, if I'm the one who always does the initiating of sex and all of that, if she's saying, I want to take charge now, I'm pretty sure I'll put my hands on and say, yeah, great. For once, I beg, take the initiative. You know what I mean? So yes, so no one, even the man, no one of us can be the dominating force in every aspect. No. So with the children now, oh my gosh, she's the king of that one, because with their homework and all, they always tell me, this is what I've got, this is what I look at it briefly, and that's it. She's the one that will sit with them. And I've questioned this so many times. Why is it the case? Because cut across my friends and people I know around me, it's always the mom who does all of that homework. So it's always geared towards that. So I don't think any one of us can be just a dominating force in the whole of our relationship. It will have to be aspects that they'll dominate. Yeah.
We have one of our audience who's asked a question. They've asked us to define why we chose wear the trousers. In regards to the title, who wears the trousers in your relationship, we had played around with the title. And trousers, when we talk about that, we're talking about previous generations, where it's actually put down that the man who wears the trousers leads the household. But we've sort of played upon that in regards to our title. So what we mean by who wears the trousers, we're thinking more of who will be leading, who will be the head of the household. We've chosen the word dominant as well, because it's dominant in regards to take charge, but we know at the same time it's to lead as well. So we're playing around with all those words: to lead, to be the head, to be dominant within a household. But I'm going to throw this one out to Esther. So Esther, when we think about, so for example, you said that in your household you sort of share or you work to your strengths.
Yes.
Okay. So what's your opinion in regards to a woman that just does as she's been told? So a woman that a man literally just, she goes to work, she comes home, she's got to do the cooking, got to do the cleaning. She still, literally, he does nothing for the house. What's your opinion?
On that, again, it's everybody has a different relationship. If she's content in doing that, by all means do that. I'm not. Okay, I'm a stay-at-home mum. I've chosen to be a stay-at-home mum for my boys because both me and my husband worked full-time when we had the boys. For me, I felt it wasn't working for our family. I felt I wanted to raise my boys. I wanted to stay at home and raise my boys. I thought I did it best. So I thought I won't say give up my job. I thought I put that in the back burner for now and raise my boys, look after the household. And quite frankly, I've been content doing that. I have no shame in saying that. I feel proud of myself in terms of how my boys are raised. So for me, that worked for me. Now I have friends who think that's odd. They're like, why would you give up your career? Why can't you do both? Why can't you raise your kids and go to work and all that sort of stuff? I said, well, why can't I be a stay-at-home mum? Our parents did it. Yeah. And my family are all girls. I've got one brother, but everybody around me are strong, independent women, very, very strong, independent women, very independent. And that's the sort of person I am. I'm a very independent person. So I don't take lightly to being controlled. But at the same time, I know my place as a wife. There's things I have to do as a wife to keep my husband in that sort of pedestal in a sense. But at the same time, I'm not controlled. I have my own opinion, I have my own mind. But like I said, some people, that's the life they want to live. They want to be the submissive wife. Because maybe it's due to culture, where they come from, their religion, background, whatever it is. But that's their choice. I wouldn't judge them for that. I just personally wouldn't be that sort of person. Even though I'm a stay-at-home mum, I'm not that person. I'm very much an independent person in my own right. But everybody has their own way of living their life, so to speak. So I can't judge them, so to speak. But it's not for me. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, let me talk about, so okay, when I think about myself, as you're all aware, I'm married. And in my household, the roles switch quite regularly. I'm quite career driven. So I'm always pushing career-wise, but at the same time, I can look after my household. But my husband at the same time, he's career driven, but he's very much, let me help with the household as well. So we sort of share that together. But majority of the time, he does support a bit more when it comes to the household stuff, maybe because of the careers we both take.
Yeah.
And honestly speaking, when it comes to decisions, I could easily just make a decision, but I make a conscious decision to have a discussion before we make that decision. So I grew up a strong-minded woman, grew up as to anything I can do without any support. That's the way I was raised. So for me, it took some time for me to say, you know what, I have to discuss it through with my husband, and then we will decide together. Maxwell, what's your views in regards to a woman that does, how would I word it? A woman that doesn't have that communication with her husband. So it's, I will tell my husband what I want, and that what I want must go. So whether he likes it or not, that's just how it is.
A woman, yes, but that's not a, because you said husband and you said a woman. That's
okay, partner. Let's not look at husband and wife. Perhaps we go back to just partner.
Okay.
So let's go back to partner rather than husband and wife.
Yes. So I think obviously it's not something that would have just happened straight away. It would have been a build up over time. You know, it would have been a, you know, sort of, what kind of man is he? You know, being a man and being a male, for me, they're two different things for me. You know, being a male, yes, we're all male. We have a form to take, gender, male, female, we take male. But being a man, an actual man, you know, it's kind of different. So for a woman to do that, it would have been what the man, what is his role in a household, you know? Is he the type of man that sits with his family, with his wife, to set goals, to have plans, to, you know, to bring things to the table? And, you know, these days, the women of this generation and my mother's generation, they're different, you know. Women of this generation, as I can hear from yourself, I can hear from Esther, my wife, and every other woman, oh, my sisters as well. They're strong, independent women, you know, they can hold their own, they can do their own thing, they've got their money, they can, you know, but it's not just about you going out to work as a man and bring money. It's what are you bringing to the table? What other things are you bringing? Money can be replaced easily, but the value you're bringing as a man is not something that you can just replace overnight. She may need to look at 3 or 4 other guys to fill that vacuum if he was to leave. So it's a case of, what's he bringing to that table? You know, so for a woman to sort of act that way, to me, it's a sign of a broken relationship, and it's also a sign of what he is doing or not doing. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay.
What if it's the case if they trusted the man that's just say, I know my husband, I know my partner, I wanted this. If I tell him at the last minute, they will agree anyway. Sometimes happens like that.
But sometimes
it
does happen like that though. It does happen when you just have to make that decision without communicating, but then you communicate it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So that's different though. But what they were saying is almost like a nonchalant attitude, a non sort of, I don't care, you know, whatever, you know, I'm gonna make the decision anyway. So it's not master-slave stuff we're talking about here. It's partnership. It's partnership. So when you're sailing together, you know, you're doing your bit, I'm doing my bit, you know, and all those stuff, you know. So yeah, so that's sort of different. If there's the trust there that, okay, I'm not home, he can make that decision. I'm quite domestic myself, you know. I do stuff. I love cooking. It was my son's birthday today, and I made chicken and grilled, and I love it. You know, I love it. You know, I love it. And I love food as well, of course, as you can tell about. So for me, it's so at the end of the day, if that trust is there, that's different. But this is not trust we're talking about. We're talking about a rebellious woman or rebel. You know, so
or submissive wife. It depends. Because some women don't have a say in a relationship at all. Some women are just meant to be seen and not heard. So they're in the background, you know, just, you know, they can't mix. If husband has guests around there, they're not allowed in the room, they can't mingle. So it depends. And also some people raise their daughters to be that way. Your husband's the king of the house, so therefore you do whatever he says. And I think it breeds resentment after a while. You know, you can't constantly just be quiet and be meek and quiet all the time. And so some people do have that relationship in this modern day and age. It happens. We see it all the time. We have friends who are very submissive, who are very quiet. So it's not always the
Yeah, but I don't know if that's submission though. I don't know if that's submission or just doormat written on your forehead. You know, if a man controls you like women play football games and we can tell a player to go left and go right, and then you're like, how far left or how far right. I don't think, you know. So it's one of those things where, and when you see men that come through those stuff, you may want to check their background as well. Maybe their dad was like that, maybe, or maybe their environment that they raised. So it's. Yeah, but that is a very toxic relationship, man.
Yeah, but it happens. It does happen. It's there. It's there.
It does happen.
It does happen.
And then I know that's not part of today's topic, but that's when we start going into domestic, sort of like domestic abuse, whether it's emotionally or physically, but we're not going down that avenue for today. But somebody's put in a comment, same person, Fola, he's put, it's okay for the husband to be a king as long as his wife is the queen.
I agree.
So as long as she's on that throne with him, that's fine.
Exactly.
But Jude, is it attractive to date someone that does as they are told? As Maxwell used the word doormat. So is it attractive to date someone that sort of does?
I don't think I would like it though. I think there will have to be that how do I put it now? That interaction, man, for me to have even gotten interested. You need to be on a certain level that we could talk about so many things. So you hold your own views, you hold your perspectives, not me ordering you left, right, center. I think that's it. Although my wife is a very quiet type, but we hold conversations. We talk about politics, history, and I found out that, wow, I learned a lot of stuff from her because of where she went to school. She went to school in Europe. There were things they just naturally teach them from day one, which we weren't taught. So yeah, I don't think I would really like that sort of relation. It's not my style. Again, because I like to talk. I'm very argumentative. So it would have been mad for me to just be there telling somebody something to do, and you don't get that feedback. Yeah?
I'm trying to fix the relationship. Sorry, Jude. I apologize. I'm interrupting.
No, go on. I didn't quite catch what you're saying.
Know you, Jude. So I'm just trying to picture the relationship because we've gotten to know you and we know that you are quite a vocal. You're an intelligent man. So you speak quite well as well. You speak a lot. So to be with someone that literally is not communicating back and not being, I don't want to use the word argumentative, but not having their opinion with what you've got to say, that would cause a bit of a for you. I'm just trying to.
I have that. I have that in my relationship because my wife, I've said it before on TV. We could be in the house the whole day. I don't say a word just because when I was trying to have a conversation on some topic, she gives you one word answer or 2 word answer and it's a shutdown. And I'm stunned. I think maybe it's her own mechanism of how to deal with me talking too much.
She might be doing it on purpose.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah, that's what it just clicked on my head now. So we're talking. It might be her own tactics to keep me shut down and I just shut down and she would try to push me more to say something. I won't say anything any longer. So you see, it would be very difficult for me to be in that relationship with a woman, or if I was a woman with a man who is just there. I've seen women who actually ended their marriage because of that. My husband just sits there. Anything I say, he takes. Yeah. I've seen it. And to go back to what Max was saying earlier, sorry, I've been to team meetings where they told me, thank goodness we have a man in the team. Wow, we need some hand here to put us in check. I was shocked. It was coming from independent, strong-willed women. I put my hand, I'm like, wow, thank God that's not coming from me. I've been told this more than 3 times. This was coming from women who were mostly my seniors as well in the profession. They would say, oh, goodness, we have a man now with us. At least this one will put us in the right direction. You're able to tell us to shut it. I was shocked. Wow. I was like, okay. So you see, different folks.
Maxwell, do men really want a strong woman? I'm just going to put, do men really want a strong woman? Or do you really want a strong woman?
For me, for example, so happily I'm married to one, and kudos Esther, you know, mom at home, you know, my wife is rocking the same, and we're loving it, you know. So and it's amazing, you know, and she's written books, she's done quite a lot of stuff that I'm like, wow, and in a short time, short frame as well. And yeah, so strong women, absolutely, you know, confident, absolutely, independent, absolutely. I think most men, when you men that would not like those attributes in a woman are sort of either men that have this ego or stuff to sort of think less, or they're not confident in themselves as well. If you're confident in yourself as a man, you know, you would, if she wasn't strong, you would want to make her stronger, you know, to get to that point where you could sort of, you know, she's fine in a crowd. She's not hiding shy or hiding behind cupboards and, you know, hiding under curtain and all those stuff. You know, you need that kind of thing. I want my woman to be able to speak to my colleagues at work and just chat with them on a dinner stuff, rather than just keep quiet and everyone is talking about who the next prime minister is or who's Labour and whatever things in the economy, and she's looking like, she's on her phone, you're looking at Google, who are these people you're talking about? So you want to bring her to a level, and it could be the other way around as well, guys. It's not just, you know, some men too need to be brought up by the woman. I mean, I've worked in one of the big four as a consultant before, and I knew this couple. She was a partner, he was a like 3 or 4 levels down, you know, and at work, he listened to everything she says, not a problem. But at home, because they had a party one time I went there, I was so shocked the way he was talking to her. I'm like, wow, this lady, partner, senior, very senior partner, you know. But he just, and then he said something, at work, she's a boss, but at home, she knows her place at home. And I know her place at home. So, and to be honest with you, it's respect as well, you know. So when we talk about you being a leader, you know, you have to do that respectfully. I feel any man that beats his chest and says to a woman, don't you know who I am? I am the man of this house. You're not a man. You're not a man. You're just trying to brush up your little feather ego. That's just what I think. So, but yeah. Because
a strong man wouldn't actually have to say that he's
exactly.
You'd see it. You'd actually see it. Okay,
and it's not even in the looks, it's just in the output, you know, it's just in what he does and what he,
But you'd see that in the woman as well. You'd actually see it with the woman that she has a strong man. But for those of you that are watching live, if, as I said to you earlier, if you can please just hit the notification and the subscription button. I know some of you are very interactive in the chat, but also to let you know that our season 1 is currently available as a podcast. For those of you that are really busy and haven't got time to watch it on YouTube, you can listen to it while you're doing whatever you're doing, whether you're cooking, driving, or at work. It's available in the link in our bio. So make sure you have a look to season 1. All the episodes are there on podcast for you to listen to. Okay, back to who should wear the trousers in a relationship. So, Miss Esther.
Yes.
We know our previous president of the United States of America, he was as we say, a strong man. But we see that because he had a strong woman beside him. So, what do you think?
Hold on, say that again. Repeat that again.
Okay, so we know the United States of America, the previous president.
Not Trump, the other one before that.
The one
Obama.
Not Trump, the one before that.
I was getting confused. I'm thinking, what do you mean the previous one? Okay, Trump, Obama. Yes.
We know that he was a strong man because he had a very strong woman. Yeah. Okay, so there's a saying that says behind every man is a strong woman. Correct. What are your views in regards to that?
Absolutely agree. He wouldn't be where he is today if the woman wasn't there supporting him. It's a fact. I mean, I don't think my husband would be where he is today if I wasn't there supporting him, being his rock, being his champion, being his whatever cheerleader, whatever it is. So I don't think a man can say, I'm where I am today without my wife or my whatever. You have to have someone behind you who's there at night doing pillow talk, who's going through, you know, your stresses, and someone there supporting you. You know, if your wife is not there, so okay, for example, like I say to you, I'm a stay-at-home mum. I keep bringing it up, I know, but if I wasn't looking after my household, my husband would be stressed because he doesn't have to deal with that at the moment. He has to just focus on doing what he's doing. He's a very busy man. He has many things he does. you know. So I'm busy as well in my own way, but if he comes home from work and has to deal with all the other bits and bobs going on, he's not going to make it, he's not going to be able to achieve what he wants to achieve. Neither would I. I will have to do, you know, so like I say, it's a partnership in our household, but I'm definitely my husband's rock, and he's my rock as well. He supports me in anything I want to do as well. You know, so like I said to you in the beginning, it is a partnership, but there's nowhere man who's successful. If you look at their history and look at their life, you know that there's somebody behind them who is holding them up, whether it's their mother. Yeah. So when they were young, the mother was always encouraging. My boys, I'm always encouraging them. And everything they do, I'm there, supporting them, encouraging them, being their rock. So when they get older and they meet a woman, hopefully like me, you know, they'll have something there, another woman figure there, also being their rock and challenging them. So I don't think any man can say, I made it to where I am today. There are a few men who say, I think Trump probably would say he made it where he is today, like whatever, which I don't believe, because, you know.
But then we talk about, don't get me wrong, his wife, she's doing okay for herself, but is she what we call?
We don't know. Trump is very, you know, boisterous. We don't know the real, because she's been there for a long time. She's been there with him. I wouldn't put up with that, but we don't know what goes on behind closed doors.
Yeah.
You know, so, and his daughter's very, very, you know, she's like a very confident woman. So there's something there. So we can't just dismiss her appearance of being very beautiful and quiet. We don't know what she's like, you know, behind closed doors. But I think any man who says they're successful, there is no way he can say there's not somebody there propping him up, being his rock, being his backbone, supporting him. Yeah. There's no way he can say that. They can't say that. Somebody can say that. That's my opinion.
There are men that actually seek women without opinion. So women that will not support, that are, I don't even want to say support, they're men that just feel like they can do all, but don't need the woman. I'm throwing out to Esther.
I don't think they'll go far.
No, they won't. They say that, Dee. A lot of men say, I want a woman that just doesn't talk back to me, who just, you know, it's all what they, like Matthew said earlier on about maybe they have this sort of weakness or whatever it is. I don't think that will last. Like what you just said, I don't think it's going to last very long. You need that. You need that in life, full stop. You need somebody there that you can. I think peace of mind is what most people need. They need peace of mind that they can do whatever they can do, and there's peace of mind that if anything happens today, my wife can carry on.
Yeah,
you know, that's how I was raised. I was raised by women all around me. We are strong women. By the same, you know, so I know if my husband says, if something happens today, now he knows Esther's got it covered. I don't have to worry about that section of, you know, that issue. So men might say, I want a quiet wife who looks pretty and just smiles there. But I don't know, like Max said, you go to work, your wife's in the corner, just, you know, on her phone, looking meek. Come on, I think, you know, you'll be embarrassed, quite frankly. Yeah. You'll be embarrassed, you know.
Yeah, me, same,
is she okay? Is she all right? Does she want, you don't want that. Also, at the same time, though, because I'm quite loud, I can be very embarrassing as well in situations as well. So sometimes there has to be a balance as well, because I know.
Of course.
So it depends as well. You don't want to know, because, hey, I'm here. So it depends. I think, again, it just depends. But, you know, I don't think any man truly wants a quiet, submissive. I don't know. I don't think so. That's my opinion. I don't know.
For me, as I said, I'm married to someone that supports, that we work together in order for us to come to certain decisions. He's been my rock through, when I say I'm very career minded, he has been, so it's sort of the roles are switched. So I don't want to say I'm the leader or the head, because I'm not, but I do make decisions without consulting, and then we discuss later. But then at the same time, he does support them. He's like, literally, when I was doing half of my courses, he's written half of them with me, read through them with me. He's been the one, as you say, the pillow talk, all that kind of stuff. But then there are relationships where, as I said, but we're saying a man as well, but a woman, it can be both ways, because we're saying, like, a man leading the household, but then a woman can also lead the household. Why do we always, I don't know, I'm just getting myself down, but why do we always talk about it being the man leading?
It's up, I think it's just my one is all about cultural upbringing. I think where I grew up, my brother was always put on a pedestal. He was always put up there as the king of the house. And, you know, so I think sometimes for me, plus it could be cultural, it could be religious. I don't know, men are seen as, you know, the provider, the you know, hunter, those sort of things they say back in, you know, so maybe it just could be that, it could be that. But in modern days, it doesn't work that way. We know, all of us here together, we all have partners. We know there's a partnership there. That's what it's called partner, right? Because we're partnership.
Yeah.
So in reality, that's the only way it can work. I don't see why people think one has to be more dominant than the other. I just think that's maybe our parents' generation. I don't know, but modern day.
Let me give you an example. As you said, we're all married here on this panel. But what about, let's give you an example of a woman who's not married, career-minded, driven, doing really well for herself. And now males are finding that very intimidated. They're intimidated by her in regards to a relationship because they feel like they've got nothing to provide. Jude, Max, what is your opinion in regards to that?
But you've just it's personal opinion, Don.
Yeah.
It goes back to the question you asked Max earlier, whether you would whether you'll be attracted to a strong woman. Definitely you'll be attracted to a strong woman, whether she's got the bag or not. Because like again, in the scenario that Max described, if you were in office do with your colleagues or you were just with friends, you wanted to hold herself as well. You don't really want to sit in there. So it's the same thing, whether she was independent before and she's loaded now, she's career driven. Again, you'll start talking and you'll find out whether she wants to settle down. She might tell you from the start that I don't really want to settle down with anyone. If you're cool with that, then you roll with it.
Yeah.
If you're not cool with it, then you walk away. There'll be some, you'll be surprised. Society, like Esther was trying to say, over time has portrayed women and men and they put them in these boxes. So from time, we tend to look at women from a distance who are like independent, have money, career driven. They tend to tell us to fear them instead of no, approach them, because sometimes they're just only waiting for you to approach them, whether it be same-sex relationship as well. It works on both. It's not just man. I've seen women that I felt very intimidated by, especially when she was just tall. I was like, hey, I know they go there. I know they go there. Then when you start talking to these people, you find out, oh my God, they're down to earth. They're fun. Yeah. They can be very friendly. Well, it's society has placed us in that situation. It's the same thing with Obama and the wife, Michelle Obama, you was talking about. Esther used the slogan, behind every successful man, there's a woman. If you look at anything that's behind you, that thing is not seen, right? So it's the negativity side, how they interpret it. But actually it should be positive because behind is the support, is what is pushing you. Your spine is behind, it's not in the front of your chest. And your spine is what, if you think I'm lying, try to hit your spine proper, you'll be on the floor. So that's behind. So the woman or the man standing behind is the support structure. Without them, you ain't going nowhere. So it's the way we flip the story this time. And during our parents' time, it wasn't like the man was the king. It was what Esther pointed out again. From time immemorial, from earlier societies, the men went out to fend for food, went out to, even at night, they would stand outside, guard the family from wild animals, from wild dogs and foxes, while the women were at home doing that. So it crept into society. Some societies still do it very well, and it still works very well. But we're in these capitalist systems where, come on, man, you got to pay bills. So you and the woman get to go get this bread. So that's where the tension is about, okay, I'm getting the bread, you're getting the bread. Who then leaves the house? This is what brings the confusion.
What do we portray for our children? Because, I can give you another example. You have your children are asking for something. Okay, I put my hand up, I say, go and ask your dad. I always, I can make the decision, but I say, go and ask your dad. It's a natural thing. We need to ask your dad.
It depends on what it is. It depends. It really does depend on the situation. I make a lot of decisions with the kids. It just depends. Like I said, I just do most of the stuff. If it's a big thing, then we have to. I'll speak to Adi about my husband about it. But if it's just minor little things, it depends. It just depends on the situation. It just depends.
But you see what Esther said. If it's the big thing, I would go to. You see what I mean? So I think that is the. It's in us. We're not. That was natural, right? Yeah. We didn't have to ask Esther, who is the person that would be making this big decision. She naturally just said it. So based on, you see what I mean? So I think as long as the man is not going chested out and square shoulders, do you know who I am? Before you say this. You see what I mean? I'm the man. I'm a bad man. No, not that.
Man, a bad man.
You know what I mean? So I think as long as that respect is there, That,
Yeah.
like Jude said,
That's the word.
must
That's
be
respect.
there.
That's a key word.
That's it.
Respect is
That's
a key
it.
word.
And
Yeah.
this is why you don't. I mean, I grew up in a household where my mom would go on her knees to give my dad food.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, yeah.
growing up in a household to come into these modern time, although back in that time they thought they were modern until they met us, and then until
Yeah.
we met our kids' generation, we now believe they are more modern. You see what I mean? It just
Yeah.
keeps going like onion, right? So, and I was like, wow, look at this. This is cool. But I knew when I started dating and then met my, I just didn't want that because you see what I mean? Although they would after all that, it's like they're friends, they're mates, they're like it never happened. For me,
Yeah.
seeing that, and I've got another brother as well, and I think we had a chat about it. Like, dude, what's that? Are we gonna take that on and do that?
But
And I can
Maxwell,
tell you,
some women do that to husbands now. They still said the husbands like that though. Just to let you know.
I know,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Friends
I
still do
was
that.
I was
Still do
gonna
that.
say that.
They
I
still
was
do
gonna
that,
say that.
Absolutely.
Maxwell. Yeah.
And for instance, I've got nothing wrong with that. It's lovely and beautiful. I mean, we had one of our in-laws, around. She came, and she was shocked. I was in the kitchen, and she ran to my wife, speaking their language. That, what's he doing in the kitchen? Why is it? And then my wife and my wife's mom and her other auntie were like, no, that's Maxwell. That's what he does. He just,
Yeah.
And then, do you just give him food like that? You're meant to do. I'm like, it's not gonna make the food taste any different. You go on your knees, you stand up, as long as you don't throw the food to me.
No, a friend
know?
of mine told me recently, she said, every time I call, you're always in the kitchen, either cooking or washing dishes. My husband will hate you. Fact. I said, well, it's choice. And what Max was saying, a friend called me to come be very less than 24 hours. I said, please, the guy who wanted to be my spokesperson at my introduction just turned me down. You need to come. Boy, he told me it would take 2 hours. I should have had food. I regretted not having food. Oh my God. I went very far outside of London, didn't have food. I thought, don't worry, on my way, I'll get food. Man, it was marrying a Zimbabwean. Great. I didn't know the culture was absolutely different. It was a shocker. They gave us this list. Oh my God, there was a lot of cows on the list. So now, because we were not physically in Zimbabwe, we had to translate these cows into pounds. And my friend put about 1,000 something in my pocket. So I'll be negotiating. I thought I was going there to negotiate. I must save money for my friend. I came out broke. I needed to borrow reserve. But what I was gonna say, all of this, the food was smelling great. You could not touch the food until you passed through this list. Now it was. I'm telling you, I got there. I think about 12 in the afternoon. I didn't get to put food in my mouth till at about after 11 in the evening.
What?
Because nobody was there from outside to brief us about the culture that this list is just formality. Go through it and give all the money until the last penny in your pocket drops. I didn't know. I was just there negotiating because my friend said negotiate to, we not get to. I should have just given them quick the last 5 minutes. We dragged and dragged and dragged to the end. But the funny thing, why I'm bringing the story is this. When it was time to serve food, they said all the men to that room. We were sat on our own. And before I knew it, these ladies, none of them were born in Zimbabwe. They're all born here. So they were brought up under this culture. They came with big bowls, each lady for each guy. It's like they counted us. Wash your hands. They came with the food, opened the food, and they sat next to us, like almost in a prostrating position for us to finish the meal. I was like, I'm not doing this. I was fighting with my own. I said, no. First of all, I don't like washing hands in bowl. I'm going to go to the sink.
They do that? Jude, sorry, do you think they do that every day? So I think the thing is, it's all well and good to do that, but is that sustainable? So
no,
for example,
it's not.
And I expect her to go on her knees to serve
I think
this.
that might just be the event. I think that's just part of the culture.
It was just an event, but I did ask whether they expected to carry on that. The woman my friend married to said yes, they expected to do it. So the husband.
Be interested to find out if they're going to do it. Ask your friend later on if she's doing that. Be interesting.
So you see,
they go to Burger King together.
Differs. Yeah.
So Jude, sorry, I cut in. They go to Burger King together or McDonald's or let's get a bit more posh. Maybe I don't know. Maybe not posh. Maybe I don't know any of these eateries. And then he's standing there. She gets the food from the till and goes on a knee.
Maxwell, that's
We're
extra.
just gonna look.
Maxwell, you're
what's
being
going on
extra.
here?
Everybody will look, but I'm pretty sure there'll be
Mufasa.
people.
What is
Who
that?
can do that. Who will do that still? Trust me. There are
Yeah,
people out there who will do
yeah.
that. Yeah, I'm telling you the truth. But for me, I've never liked washing hands in the bowl. So when you, even if I came to your house and they brought it for me, I'll get up and go to the sink. I just thought it was dirty
Yes.
for me. So
Yes.
that's why I objected. But she insisted, and I had to sit. And she poured water on my hands to wash it after the food. I was like, oh my God, though. So
Did they
people
pay?
are cool
Did
with
they
these
pay them
things.
for that though? Did they pay
No,
them?
no, no. My friend's wife now, the sisters and cousins.
Oh, got you.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
wow.
just family, all family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And they were
But
happy doing it. I was.
some of that is culture. If we think about, we're all Nigerians here. When it comes to like our parties, the men sit down, the women are the ones serving the food.
Yeah.
Before we'll serve the food. Now we say, oh yeah, you people come and collect your food.
Help yourselves.
Unless you're not hungry.
Yeah.
But we still sort of, I think it's just natural for us women to think that, okay, we need to dish a plate for our husbands. But then that all comes down to, I know the topic says who wears the trousers in your relationship. Both male and females wear trousers. I haven't got trousers on at the moment, but I know if I wanted to, I could wear trousers. So we just use that as a figure of speech. So it's a case of, in regards to relationships, there is, I know somebody's put in the chat that a woman should be able to lead and speak and do, but a man should always be the head. But for me, I just feel that the head, yes, it might look that way, but in a relationship, it's built between two people. The two people become one, and you support each other through through what that marriage and that household goes through. So when it comes to when we talk about who wears the trousers, I personally do not think we should be using that who wears the trousers. It's just the man supports, he holds us strong. The woman allows him, but at times she too is holding him strong. So they're holding each other through that journey.
But Dee, if you sorry for cutting you, but if you liken, I think our parents have done it. If you're liking a relationship or marriage, there's ship at the end though. So a ship, so a boat. A boat has a captain, right? But they have a deputy, somebody who number two, who deputizes for them. What the number two does is to critically have conversations with the captain when he thought or she thought it was going wrong. That's harsh.
That's a great analogy, actually.
So what the person who put on the chart said, okay, there should be no trouser wearing, but the man should take that role, or the woman, somebody should take the role. That's what I'm saying. Somebody should take the role in the relationship and the other one should be the critical, and it should interplay.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
For example, if you ask my children, who's the boss in this, and I'm thinking they all point to their mom, because this is the one they see on it. My son will tell me, my mom bought this for me, my mom bought it. I say, Kai, it's my credit card crying on my debit card. No credit for me. So you see that. So these roles, they interplay. So when you're the critical voice, sometimes the other one should take the helms of affairs. But if I'm at the helms of affairs now, you should be the critical voice. And it's very important too that we listen to that critical voice. For example, my wife called me when they were buying a cat. Christ's sake, I said, wow. We bought one before and that cat ran away. Now we're buying this one. This one, the money to buy this one, almost to buy a land in some village, But I didn't like that decision because I wasn't part of the whole starting process of getting to check the cat out. But guess what? For peace to reign, for us to move on, I cough out and I have to go get a cat from Reddit. This is what it is. Yeah. But if I was going to say, like Mark said, do you know who I am? I'm the one paying the bills. I put my foot down, man. My brother, maybe now my shade up on the sleep now, so who knows?
Comfortable.
I have to say, Jude really just gave us a brilliant example of this whole topic in regards to the captain of the ship and the deputy being a critical thinker. I think that's a brilliant way to sum up this topic as well. Yeah. So for those of you that are listening, please ensure you subscribe, hit the like button, and do tune in. We are here every Sunday. So we're going to tune out for today. So this is us, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye, Bye guys.
Bye. Can we talk?